The hard yards on the pads and the training paddock have been put in all week in the West Country because England A are in town at a wet and breezy home of Bristol Bears. Ashton Gates today may be the gateway for these young English talents to go on to full senior honours and follow in the footsteps of recent graduates Finn Baxter, Caden Murley and Asher Apoku-Fajor. But today poses the sternest examination of the England A programme since it was rebooted a year ago. Ireland are in town with a finely balanced side across all their 4 powerful provinces, and each of those 23 men in green harbouring dreams of full senior honours too. England A versus Ireland A coming to you live at 1 PM from Ashton Gate. Well, welcome everybody to the West Country, where Topsy and I are the smart ones because we're in the warm, away from these biblical conditions. It's lashing down here, but the optimism for a fabulous afternoon's A-game rugby is certainly not dampened, Topsy. There's great opportunity for these young hopefuls, both Ireland and England today. Yeah, absolutely. Look, yes, the conditions aren't great, but it's a huge opportunity. You're out there representing your country, and you kind of know, look, this is the step that you want to take. So put your hand up to say we are ready to be back in the main squads. We would all have watched the Six Nations unfold over the weekend, and actually for these guys, whether they've been capped or not, this is their opportunity to say we want to be back in, and this is your stage to say what do we need to do to showcase your skills and your talent. Well, we're talking about the next generation here. We're talking about emerging Ireland players. We're talking about under-20s taking the step up. But there is a smattering of experience amongst both sides. And Jack Van Poortvliet and Kieran Frawley are two men with lofty ambitions who've already fulfilled full international recognition.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, in a team, like you said, with the inexperience and the new faces, actually two who have recent experience of the senior men's setup. You know, Jack Van Poortvliet, pre-World Cup, was the first choice scrum half until that ankle injury unfortunately ruled him out. He's now back to form and fitness and will be desperate, having watched on yesterday, to say, you know what, there's a spot there for me, but I need to show what I can do today. So it's a big afternoon for him. He's been given the captaincy as well to show what he can do. And likewise, in the fly-off position in the Irish team, Kieran Frawley, who actually, remember not that long ago, kicking winning points for Ireland in a test match out in South Africa. So talk about test match experience. For someone like Kieran Frawley, he's watching Crowley, he's watching Prendergast, his competitors. He was named in the main Six Nations squad, so again, he'll be desperate to prove a point today to say to Simon Easterby and Andy Farrell that I am still the man for the job.
So with that all in mind, you're out there to make a name for yourself, but you're there to win as part of a team and a system. How do you make yourself stand out?
Is that weird and classic cliche? I don't like saying it, but simple things done well. You've had limited preparation time. You've only had 2, maybe 3 sessions. So actually, what can we do in those small moments to make it work? A nice pass, a good carry, a good tackle, play smart. Yes, we've talked about the weather, but actually be brave as well, because you're not going to learn anything more about yourself by kick chase. Actually, can we handle the ball in difficult positions? Can we take opportunities when they're presented? And can we show the best of ourselves? And that's what the coaches, both here and the senior coaches, will want to see from the players.
So that's the backs covered, and now to your forte, the front row, because there's a lot of talk about props in Ireland at the moment, and Tom O'Toole is going to be backing down at the loose head, and Ireland are striving for that next generation of props to replace Porter and Furlong.
Well, absolutely, and again, this is where these fixtures are so handy, because yes, the success at the national team level is what you want to look at, but actually you want to make sure that that gravy train below is solid and there's depth coming through. And for Ireland, props is probably where they're looking at the minute. So, you know, we saw some debutantes in the Wales game yesterday. We've got Tom O'Toole on the loose head side today, plying his trade as well. So, again, for those guys who are next off the rank, this is your opportunity. And we look ahead to the summer tours, both teams, Ireland going to Georgia, England going to Argentina. Actually, you want to put your hand forward to say, we are the next guys. Take your opportunity today and put your hand up for the summer tours as well.
Right, well, there is the view from up in the gods with Topsy and I, but let's hear it from the coaches. Mike Prendergast of Ireland, but first, Lee Blackett of England.
Lee, a very strange week in terms of 3 training sessions and the tight turnaround. What's been the focus this week for you and your coaching team?
I think the big thing whenever you come to like this is, firstly, it's an opportunity for the individuals, isn't it? It's an opportunity for Steve to see other guys in the white jersey, so that's the big thing. But for the individuals to take those opportunities in their teammates, and that's been the big thing, trying to build team cohesion as much as we possibly can. And I think that you can go out there as an individual, but how many times do you see a ball kicked long and then someone run it all the way in? It generally relies on a teammate, so that cohesion is probably the biggest thing we've focused on.
The heavens have just started to open here. How much has the weather played a part in your planning?
Yeah, I've been watching the forecast all week, just hoping it pushes its way out and we get some good weather, but look, whenever you come into these weeks, adaptability is the key thing. So there could have been anyone dropped down, there could have been guys in this squad going up later in the week. So we've talked about being adaptable, and again, we're going to have to show that today with these conditions.
In terms of the development of England rugby as a whole, it's obviously very important. But in terms of, I guess, the performance today over what you want to see from the result, kind of how do you balance that this week?
I think whenever you're talking, doesn't matter what level as a coach, you're talking about performance. Results will come. If you focus purely on the result, then for me, you forget the performance and you won't get the result. So everything will be on that, and I just want to see opportunity. I want to see people go out and play. I really put a foot forward for Steve to look at, and as we saw in the against the Australia A, we had 9 players now that have been in that international setup, 4 being capped, and we're only talking there's been a couple of internationals between senior internationals. So that's really what we're looking for. I'd love to see nine boys at least potentially on the tour to Argentina in the summer. That'd be great.
Mike, 4 provinces coming together for this fixture. How much has this week been about kind of bonding and getting things right and getting what you want from the team, I guess, on and off the pitch?
Yeah, I think that's the key. You know, we came in together on Monday morning. We spoke about both staff and players about being aligned connecting to each other as much as we can on and off the pitch. And a credit to the players and the staff as well. They've driven that all week. So massively look forward to bringing it all together. It's a bit of a once-off game, a bit of a unique type of fixture, but a brilliant one to look forward to.
It's obviously a huge thing in terms of both sides' development, but you mentioned there it is quite unique in terms of one of a slight barbarians feel. Has it been a balance of kind of, I guess, the off-pitch stuff and a bit of fun to bond the players, as well as obviously the serious on-field tactics?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the balance is the whole thing, and I think we've struck it quite well this week in terms of when we're there and we're on it and knowing our detail, connecting with each other, but also enjoying each other's company away from it as well, you know, because we spoke about, as I said at the start of the week, about getting stuff right on the pitch, but also off the pitch, and off the pitches, you know, connecting to each other and connecting with each other through your preparation as well, because we only had limited time together, and it's about, I suppose, getting the balance of that right as well without overdoing it, but enough that the players can be well equipped for the challenge ahead.
Tuesday marks precisely 1 year since the England A programme was rejuvenated. Ireland A, this is only their second fixture in a decade, but the path has been crystallised by those who have gone before. It is in plain sight, senior honours with a fine showing here today in Bristol. For England's A, there's going to be 12 who are making their bows, and one of them is Jack Van Poortvliet, who's handed the captaincy, and he reforges his brief partnership that he had with Charlie Atkinson at Leicester Tigers. Outside of him are two Bath boys, Will Butt and Max Ajomo, making up the centre pairing, and Curtis Langdon is the vice-captain at hooker, bookended by Phil Brantingham and George Kloster. If you're looking for excitement, look no further than England's 6, 7, 8. Tom Pearson, Jack Kenningham and Alfie Barbary, whilst George Hendy is an excitement machine. Player of the final in Saints' Premiership triumph last May. Ireland A have the privilege of 5 fully fledged internationals to call upon, and Kieran Frawley is the man who everyone has eyes on, partnering Nathan Doak at half-back. There's a couple of young, sizable individuals in Jude Postlethwaite and Hugh Gavin in the centres, whilst Tom O'Toole packs down at loose head alongside Jack Ainger, and Diarmuid Barron is in the middle. Max Deegan is captain. Ollie Jaeger is a Irish front row replacement, and Harry Byrne has a bit of local knowledge to impart on the Irish out there, currently on loan at Bristol Bears. Well, all this talk of the heavens being open, it appears the rugby gods have cast a right smile on the opening stanza of this international that offers so much promise for both England and Ireland. There's summer tours to consider. There are long, successful international careers to tantalise all 46 men out there in the middle today. A number with previous age grade experience. They will know how the Tingles feel when they sing their respective national anthems. Ireland's call, God Save the King.
God save our gracious King, long live our noble King. God save the King. Send him victorious, happy and glorious, long to reign over us. God save the King.
Let's go.
Well, as we touched on pre-game, it's a big afternoon for Rolando facing outside on the England side. I think all eyes will be on Alfie Barbary. Worked his way back to full form and fitness, and again, conditions are improving, but it's going to be a day for the number 8 to stand up and be counted. And on the Ireland side, making waves in the Ulster shirt, Jude Popplethwaite. He's only young, but he's gaining reputations every time he's on the field, and Irish fans will be delighted to see how he gets on today. A lot of competition in the centres ahead of him, Bundy Aki, Gary Ringrose. But Jude Popplethwaite is definitely one to keep your eye on.
The buzzwords among both sets of coaching parties this week has been connection. How can these two sides connect? Thrown together with a week's preparation. The continuity of the 4 provinces, or the sparkling prospects of the Premiership. And in the middle is Ben Breakspear of Wales, with Joe James and Harry Warbaum assisting him. Dan Jones, the TMO. And on a day where Bristol promised Bristolian weather, it's mercifully abated. But our Sunday service is underway via the boots of Kieran Frawley and not into the grip of Alfie Barbary, who has the ball swiped from in front of his eyes. Ireland with early pressure, Tommy O'Brien filling in at half-back before Nathan Doak. The Ulsterman races around to drive the tempo as Ireland work their way left. Frawley, bit of a miscommunication with Evan O'Connell, but still falls in green hands. Early pressure from England that forces a feather forward from the fingertips of Doak, and that's an early defensive win for the men in white.
It's just a slight knock on there. Doak was trying to pick the ball up from the base of that ruck. But really good work by Ireland from the kickoff.
Okay.
Lovely hang time by Frawley. Good from England, getting off the line, making the hits. And again, given the conditions, something as small as ball placement, just having a hand solidly on the ball when you place it back, you've got to make life easier for your scrum half.
Well, the first clinch for the 2-8 of the match, and a chance to see if you picked up any knowledge from your mate Flats along the line top two. We've got Phil Brantingham, Curtis Langdon and George Kloster of England going to ground early along with Tom O'Toole.
It's the first scrum we're getting comfortable with the cadence, but both sides just be patient, okay?
Jack
Quick reset.
Ainger.
It's the first scrum to get the cadence, just be patient, okay?
Let's go, Brady.
Fresh burn for the big day. The big Barbary.
Crouch! Bye!
Tom O'Toole with 16 Ireland international caps there. He provided a bit of cover last week for Ulster at Loosehead, and Ireland win the first penalty of the match.
Loosehead, number 1, claps.
Yeah, clear explanation. You could see it on this left-hand side. We had a perfect angle with the camera. Phil Brantingham, his left elbow hitting the deck straight away. hear the Irish pack all calling it clear as day, and
On the five,
again,
England.
that will be a subplot to keep an eye on. Solidity in the sock piece, scrum, line-out is going to be huge
Count them,
today.
I'll give you time, okay?
See there, straight to ground. Deegan pointing it, captain doing his job.
Barron goes to the middle, and Ireland build them all.
Line it over.
And they grind through the gears forward, lose a bit of control, but it's penalty advantage for Ireland. A pirouette from Ainja. Held
Held
up
above the line, no advantage. Well,
and back for the penalty, but a real early demonstration of the power that Ireland possess in the pack.
Well, it was really good drills again. They set them all up really well. It was solid, and then they all went forward. Looking like they're going to tap and go straight away.
Little pop and a short line from Jansen at pace. So close. Composure required as big frames cluster around the breakdown, and surely Ireland are there. No! Titanic defence from England in the opening stanzas, and Jack Henningham at the bottom of it all.
Well, it's smart defence as well, because given the conditions, he probably knows he's not going to win that collision, so actually use the player's momentum, get underneath him, ride the
Be playing
tackle.
on, he's behind the play, lads. He's getting treatment, be playing on. Let's go.
Charlie Atkinson. It's a nice connection in very, very windy conditions. Jansen, the man from Dunedin, so very firmly of the Connacht cause these days. Another Connacht then, Hugh Gavin, shone for the Ireland under-20s in the World Rugby Championships in Cape Town last summer, and these little inside balls are keeping the English defence honest. That one goes out on a pot from O'Toole's with Aaron. But Ireland being driven back. Gavin backing his physicality, but squeezing an offload that maybe wasn't there. And Jomo spots some unguarded green grass. And Ireland are on their heels back into the 22.
Touched in flight, Joe. Touched in flight.
Well, the chase was so good that it's touched by England, and Ireland will have to throw.
Unfortunately, Ireland will keep
Clearly touched in
possession.
flight, lads.
Interesting looking at those last passages of play. They were using a formation very similar to the one that the first team used against England in Dublin in round one. I think Ty Burton actually ended up scoring. So you kind of flood that front pod, three
He's the
players,
hooker, lads, so time is off. He's part of the
then
set.
they create a gap for another one to
He's
appear
the
in.
hooker, lads. He's part of the line now, so we'll wait for him, okay? Yeah.
Just there again, Kenningham again, so some really good intervention from him so far. The tackle to hold up for the try, and then the offload there as well. England having to do a lot of defending early on. We're hoping at some point very soon that they get some possession in their hands.
I was happy with the setup.
Well, this is an awfully sad sight.
Yeah, that's fine. That's
David
gonna be
Barron
good. Time is still
to
on.
be making way from the field of play
it's
so
clear,
early.
Yeah, if it's clear, let's see how we'll come in. There's nothing clear for us live.
Stephen Smith,
So I
the
appreciate my opinion.
20-year-old from
But it's
Leinster,
okay, just try to
and Old
progress.
Wesley,
Just try to
bounds
progress.
onto the field in his place. He's a young man with a lot of excitement around him. Captain Ireland under-19s against Japan a couple of years ago. And his first line-up doesn't quite go to plan. Instead, it's his opposite, England's vice-captain, Curtis Langdon. Tom Pearson, first carry for the Northampton Saint. Jomo, comfortable at first receiver, but missing the mark with his flick back to the second layer of attack. Pressure on England by their own inaccuracy. Langdon. Very abrasive.
Balls available, lads.
And Portfleet to Atkinson. Now it's on for England if they can straighten, and they do. Will Buck connecting with his clubmate. And Portfleet testing the fringes. Barbary
Step up.
has to stoop. And it's slow and steady progress for England. Little dummy there. Phases being woven together by England, but Ireland, and matched defensively. A big turn, argue, thrown out by Joe Carpenter. England on the doorstep of the Irish 22. Now it's Butt, now it's a Jomo. Now it's to the edge to Tobias Elliott. First glimpse of the Saracens finisher. Van Portfleet finding fractured field around the fringes and exploiting wonderful pace and tempo. But in respect to Ireland, it's discipline, no penalties conceded. In fact, it is a penalty, one on the floor, backs to the wall, but they come up with the big play on the floor.
Hold on.
God, it was a really impressive attacking series by England. Lightning quick ball, attacking left and right, really causing the Irish defence all sorts of problems. But almost at the point where the tempo got too quick, they got a bit isolated. Ireland were able to pick their moment and come up with the turnover. Just looking here again, the ball's away in less than 2 seconds. Means Van Portfleet's got time to scan, to pick options. Different players are playing 9, they're just moving the ball. Just this last carry here, Pearson goes, half a second isolated. And
On the
Ireland
line,
get the
inside,
turnover.
lads, on the line. Yes, please.
Well, whilst we were enjoying that fine work at the breakdown, Kieran Frawley will be relieved that we weren't showing his kick to touch because it wasn't the best. Ireland still in their 22. The captain Deegan is hoisted at the front, and this time Frawley gets the connection that we know he possesses in his locker.
Yeah, he'd be glad we didn't show the first one.
As you are, lad.
Much better connection on the second.
2 meters, mate.
England circumvent the entire set piece and go straight to a Jomo, who does a bit of matadoring in the midfield. Atkinson, right idea, but didn't quite get his angles right.
The space was there, absolutely, but picked the wrong club on that one. Really just want that ball to sit in the 22, forced Ireland to play it. Pretty much giving them possession right back to where this passionate play started.
It's an interesting one for Atkinson. It's his.
Well,
He
sir,
started
you
every
stay there.
England
Bring
A
them to
game,
you, please.
Portugal,
Step up,
Australia,
please.
and now today Ireland.
Please, thank you.
He's only started 8 times for Gloucester this season, so you know he hasn't had the 10 jersey all throughout the season.
There's a queue in front of him, and again, this will probably be England defend that line up really well. It's part of the longer conversation about the guys that want to make the step up, who they've actually got in front of them.
Ireland on the line, please.
So for Atkinson, he's got Marcus Smith, Finn Smith, George Ford. So it might be that he spends a bit of time in and around this A programme, but as and when, possibly this summer, he'll get his opportunity to make that next step up.
The trip to Argentina sounds nice this summer, doesn't it, Topsy? That Portfleet travelling and hit that squeeze forward. Look, Ben Breakspear kind of ran a bit of a blocking line there, and a Jomo burst through the first tackle. Atkinson puts a bit of fizz on it, and Tobias Elliott has some room. Wonderful low chop tackle. Excellent hit from Shane Bolton.
Use it!
And that tackle has stymied the England attack, and Ireland,
Use it!
though under pressure, have the chance to clear the decks.
Let's go!
That was a brilliant tackle. Only made better by the work on the floor in the breakdown as well. And England really good off the first and the second phase, generating lightning quick ball, and Jomo flings the offload out, and
I think it's a head, you lad.
England get to width really, really well, but that is a brilliant
Head
tackle.
injury, lad, yeah. Okay.
What numbers down,
And then
please?
a brilliant turnover there as well. So
7. Ireland.
7, yeah.
Well, he got a Nice
10 more,
surprise
yeah, you got a
this
bit of a
morning,
stop.
did Shane
Yeah.
Bolton. He came down to the foyer in the hotel to find that his mother had flown in from South Africa to surprise her, the first time that he'd seen her since June. So the Pretoria-born winger with family in town. And I understand that not as many have been able to travel because a lot of the ferries have been cancelled because of the weather on the Irish Sea. But making a tackle to make his mother proud there.
Absolutely wonderful moment. And
Water
Yeah,
off
still
flag,
players
please.
falling
again,
on him
proud
then.
days for a lot of these players, you know, when you are in your country's
Water off
jersey.
flag.
So again, you want to do it justice, you want to do
There you go,
yourself
Mark.
proud and
Respect that for me, okay?
put a marker down so that hopefully you
Sounds
have
like one,
further opportunities in it, not just at this level, but of course at full international level as well. So big afternoon for all the players out there.
England continue their assault from long range. They rebuild again from the 10, and Jomo clearly the centrepiece of the attacking ambitions. Atkinson on the wraparound, more white jerseys, assist, and they run out of room, but somehow keep the ball in play. Barbary arrives on a short line and uses Irishmen as speed bumps. Kenningham, forklift dumped back. Big defence from Ireland. Barbary gets the same treatment. Pearson. Langdon. This lightning quick ball that England are feasting on continues to be dished up by their busy forwards. Van Portfleet. Jomo, Atkinson, pure instinct, and Ollie Hassel-Collins finishes. Oh, wonderful, exquisite bit of England handling.
Well, the backs of Ollie Hassel-Collins finish it off, but it was really well manufactured by the forwards. Lovely direct carrying. Good ball speed, good tempo. This was lovely as well. So they get to the outside. Brilliant offload here by Elliott to keep the ball alive, and then just about momentum. Can we keep tempo in the attack? And then when the moment comes to release the ball, look at this by Atkinson. Knows the pressure is coming, knows he has to get the ball away.
Okay, man, thanks.
Lovely flick on. Carpenter and Hassel-Collins do the rest. Really good score by England.
The shot clock is behind the in-goal flag, okay? Thanks, sir. The shot clock is there.
Alfie Barbary called upon to keep the ball in place. Shot clock kicking down, but Atkinson driving under the time pressure. Created by Atkinson, maximised by his left boot, and England leading Ireland 7 points to 0.
Really good score, and here's the finish. It's actually Elliott, sorry, with that try-scoring pass. So two really crucial involvements. Ollie Hassel-Collins gets the first try of this match.
On the cut in the grass, yeah?
Well, he's back to his try-scoring best at Tigers, and engaged last week in Morocco, so plenty to celebrate in the Hassel-Collins household at the moment, and so too the Kenninghams. He's having a very impactful opening quarter of an hour, but his line-out still isn't rewarded. Instead, it's Ireland with the penalty.
Alex Henderson's got in there and done a wonderful job. Ireland not hanging about here, going straight back to the corner. Trying to re-establish some of the positivity that they had in the opening 5 minutes. There's Kenningham at the front, really good steal. And of course, when the ball lands and not everybody's in the right position, Ireland the first to the breakdown. Kellenden and Janssen.
More in the 5 line of the over.
Ireland's return to England's 22. For the first time in some time, Hugh Gavin, the focal point. Kendallen, the 23-year-old Munsterman. Another man who wears red, O'Connell.
Playing the 9 advantage.
This is Dara Murray. Frawley just tries to thread a kick through, but can only find the chest of Will Butt. Here's Shane Daly. Fabulous player, Daly. And Bolton is on hand to travel back inside. Really physical collisions out there.
Yeah.
It's all with the sleight of hand. Gavin round the corner, just offering the dummy, just asking questions of the defence, and a penalty coming.
Oh, I think if Gavin had had his time again, he might have popped that ball to Daly, tried to get them on the outside. Getting really good cohesive attack, Ireland moving the ball, stretching England. All in the comfort of knowing they had the penalty advantage to come back for.
Lads, discipline is good until we get to this area. Let's be better, please, okay?
This is the
Discipline
penalty.
is good until we get to this area. Let's be better.
Playing the
Please,
scrum
okay?
half. Ireland able to generate some really good continuity through those phases, and they go back to the line out.
More. Line out over.
England shunts Ireland back originally. Stephen Smith will stay on for the remainder of the match. Just pops the periscope up, looking for where he should go next. Gavin is there, but he doesn't receive it. O'Brien instead, working hard from his blind side. Jansen clattered tight to the breakdown. Now Ireland go a bit wider. Frawley, one long fizz ball. What a pass from a blindside flanker. And Shane Bolton and his family have even more to celebrate now. A try in the left-hand corner to even up the try-scoring ledger for Ireland.
Again, it's another lovely try. And again, that balance of with forwards punching, narrowing up the defence, and then the backs executing as well. Deegan playing his part. Look at this from Postlethwaite, that lovely roll ball. The timing of everything, the disruption to the England defence. And then that beautiful pass, that's the key. You can see there, England's defence all having to jam in after they've been narrowed up. Lots of space on the outside, and what a pass to finish it off.
Kieran Frawley just tries to guide it in with his eyes, but doesn't have the strength to do so. So England retain their lead, but it's just a pair of points.
Brilliant so far again, just from a wider perspective. Both teams really showing what they've got in these opening 19 minutes. Both moving the ball well, both carrying hard, and both executing really good tries when they've had their opportunities.
Oh, that's as tight to the touchline as it gets, and there really wasn't anywhere for Bolton to go, with Pearson swallowing him.
Stay up, ball, lads. Sorry, man.
Such a horrible kick in the conditions as well. You can almost see the ball spinning sideways. Couldn't be taken cleanly, caught right on the touchline, and it's a good response of England to get possession back so quickly.
Ireland's turn to pinch a bit of line-out ball, and the Jomo races up and makes a good hit on Kendall. Identified the transition opportunity. Smith. He's going to get a good 75 minutes or so this afternoon. Sets things up for Doak to target the touchline, and it's a great exit. Very accomplished tactical kicker, the man who hails from Lisbon. Better from England as they move to the tail. Atkinson, oh, Barbary with utter brutality in the carry. Ollie Hassel-Collins arriving from the blind spot, hits the Jets, and it's a brilliant tackle from Daly, lassoing him round the ankles just as he was breaking free.
And reach to the second time. Just wait for this guy to get injured. I know, I'm going to deal with him first.
Well, it was a brilliant constructed move by England. first to carry off the shortened line out, just to get the defence to fold. You see Ollie Hassel-Collins holding on the blind side. You've got a forward pod, and then all of a sudden a winger appears. Really well created.
Yeah, we're dealing with the treatment, it's fine.
Seeing a few teams start to run this sort of attack, and it's great because you just don't expect someone to appear in those gaps. Then Ireland give the penalty away at the breakdown after the huge line break.
He's a man you know well from London Irish top seat. You know, what does Ollie Hassel-Collins bring that other wingers don't?
Discipline's really good, we just get this area.
What's been really good this season, again, harking back to his Irish days, his involvement. He's getting his hands on the ball a lot more. Of course, when you move club, it can become a bit more difficult. You're finding a new style, a new home, trying to learn how to play with other players. But this is it, right? How do we use Ollie to his strengths? One of them is getting his hands on the ball. He's 6'3", 6'4", over 100 kilos. He's quick, he's abrasive, he's athletic. So let's use him and play to his strengths. So that's been something that's grown a lot through this season. Both Leicester and England will hope to see more of that.
Every time we have a stoppage, you come to speak to me, which isn't a problem, should be very approachable. I know, yeah. But you can't have him on every stoppage, okay?
Yeah, that's why I said stop pressing him.
Yeah. I'll try and manage that for you, yeah. Just pick up moments now, yeah?
Well, it is proving to be a costly afternoon in Bristol for Ireland.
Defenders in the back of me, so there's a lot of
As Shane Daly goes off in not great shape. I believe that Harry Byrne will be taken to the field. So there's going to be a recalibration of the Irish backline. It may be proper that Harry Byrne will go 10 and Frawley will go 15.
Yeah, that seems to be the way that they're shaping up now. I mean,
Ireland on the 5.
we hope that's not a serious one for Shane Daly, but yeah, the organisation now looks like, yeah, Byrne will go to 10. And Crawley's going to move across to the 15 shirt.
They've changed.
Langdon, with a billowing wind in his face, has the confidence to go to the tail, but the outside arm tells you that it wasn't straight and there was competition from Ireland at the front. That's the key thing.
Well, that's it, one of the new law variations. If there is no competition and it's not straight, it'll be play on, but as our referee noted, we had both, and the turnover will go to Ireland.
Elbow higher, just stay long for me, okay?
It's an interesting situation, the Irish fly-half discussion, because that man was playing for Ireland in that position only a year ago against Scotland in the Six Nations. It was his brother before, and now it's the Prendergast-Crowley conversation. Frawley's out there.
It's one that we would need a long time to unpick, but I mean, well, firstly, I guess it shows the depth of talent that Ireland do have in the 10 position. You know, they have tried a lot of players and looking for that long-term successor to Johnny Sexton. Sam Prendergast is the man in possession of the shirt at the minute, with Crowley, and Frawley behind him. It's just up to one of them to really say, I am the man to take this shirt forward, but also you want competition as well. So at the moment, you've got the two boys that are in there at the minute. Those are the guys that are going to fight it out. And the others are going to have to fight and wait for their turn.
Just set the space you want off that front man.
And England fans thought the Smith saga was created headaches. Ireland off the top. Harry Byrne getting a first chance to bring one of his centres in, who links with Jansen. Two Connacht's men combining. Byrne has his pass disrupted as the tackle comes in. I wonder, is there a conversation to be had with Jack Van Poortvliet?
Our discipline in general has been very good, but it's when we get back into this area from the 22, the discipline deteriorates. This penalty is right on his elbows first. No, it's just a trend, but there's 6 penalties against us now. So I need to see improvements, otherwise the outcome changes. Speak to your team, please.
And a penalty as well?
And no, that was just an tackle for me.
It's just a knock-on, yeah.
Message couldn't be any clearer.
Happy, lads? All good? Time on.
It's a consequence of the pressure as well, so when Ireland get really good front football, England are trying to slow that momentum, and in doing so they are giving penalties away, so they're on notice now, particularly in this area of the field. Any infringements, and I think Ben Breakspear might be looking at that yellow card.
Smith, who only made his URC debut in October, just stretches the fingertips of his captain too far.
Use it! Step back 5. Let's go! Advantage over.
It's an excellent kick. Pins Ireland on their touchline, and Frawley is not going to thank Tommy O'Brien for that pass inside. He deals with it coolly. Byrne, maybe not, was looking for a lateral kick, but it still worked out because it's in the grip of Bolton.
Release one!
Out the back they go. Byrne, so used to playing on these blades with Bristol. Frawley slings one to Deegan, who evades Hassel Collins by a handful of his underwear almost.
Okay,
That was a nice blitz from England, just shut off the options for Kendall. And Ireland have got another man stricken in the backfield. They're playing with 14. They try and exploit the no-man's land between full-back and front-line defence, but Joe Carpenter is a match to it. Will Butt.
Let's go, go, go! It's actually Harry Byrne down in the backfield for Ireland, so the man who's just come on, and England exploit the one-man advantage.
Van Portfleet puts the footwork on Frawley. Oh, JVP, that is BBG. Leaves Frawley for dead, hits the afterburners, and England have a second try.
Bit of individual brilliance there by Jack Van Portfleet. Again, the Ireland defence just came up a bit staggered for a scrum half. That is all you want to see. Huge gaps in the defence, but then the afterburners as well. Quick ball, huge gap. Lovely left foot step, but then is he going to get there? Even if he doesn't, he knows it's greasy out there. I can use my momentum to slip over. That's a really good individual score.
Try is good, Ben. And the player that's down, I think he went to his own player.
Okay.
Charlie Atkinson slots another conversion, and as he rolls off, we have a look at this break from the Leicester and England scrum half.
Really good. You got Tom O'Toole not really getting any help from Jansen outside him. They get split in two. Van Portfleet does the rest. No, you'll let us through, but there's a little bit of disruption while that's been going on as well.
Well, I can tell you that Harry Byrne, who was only on the field for moments, has made way. Looks like his injury is severe enough that he'll play no further part. So Ireland rejigging, and you'll see now England too, because Greg Fisselau has replaced Alfie Barbary. Yeah, a bit of collateral damage out there.
So the Harry Byrne collision looked like he might have made contact with his own man making a tackle. I'm sure we'll have another look at that, but interesting to see the situation with Alfie Barbary. Hopefully nothing serious.
It's initially dealt with very gracefully by Van Portfleet, but then out on the full, and his body language will tell you that he's the most disappointed of anyone at Ashton Gate.
He would be, but he's had a good 27 minutes so far. His delivery's been really good. He's moved the ball when need be, and he's just taken a really beautiful try as well.
So Finsan Gunn, the 21-year-old Leinsterman, is on for Harry Byrne. It's an HIA, and so too Alfie Barbary, so we may yet see them again. Big shot coming in from Hugh Tizard that sees the ball squirt free. And England, from the ensuing breakdown, take a penalty. Kenningham again, right in the heart of the action.
And one thing England have done really well in this game so far, defensively, they aren't just coming up really hard, trying to put a lot of pressure on the Irish attack, hitting the players as they're passing the ball, trying to really force mistakes, and getting their rewards off that one. Jack Kenningham again, he's had a couple of really timely turnovers, some good interventions, and he gets another one there again.
He's taking extra set for me, please.
And so Tizard with the initial tackle as Ireland were trying to set up the set-piece manoeuvre. The ball ricochets, breakdown occurs somewhere different, and there's Kenningham to pounce.
I think it's fair to say that Phil Brantingham was involved there as well. Two blondes working in tandem. And Fissela, who has scored 2 tries in his 2 appearances so far in his England A career, is on, and he's got a fair bit more time than he had in his previous games to make a mark.
Use it!
It's easy to forget just quite how young he is.
Let's go! Advantage over.
Doak just about makes it across touch.
Half a panic look on Atkinson's face that that wasn't going to make touch, but gives England some really good attacking ball, and again, they've been clever so far with their use of the ball.
Approaching the final 10 minutes of the first half, that sheared off wildly into the hands of Ajomo. Hassel-Collins again, a busy first half hour for the Leicester Tigers winger, and Fissela already accumulating the carries. Ireland throwing their big frames into the contacts. Nice hit from Dara Murray, the Roscommon Buccaneer. Jomo skips it along the turf, uses a bit of the grease out there. And you can see that disconnect that Kenyon almost made through. Langdon. His offload under pressure.
And then it's for England, just a scrum England ball.
Will result in England scrum.
First one Ireland, second one England, scrum England.
Some nice interplay by England, you know. Lee Blackett spoke pre-game about combinations, about working together. And even little things like those tip passes, knowing that...
completion rate so far. We've had 3 scrums, we haven't completed any of them. Tight there, long, feet underneath. Bruce says elbow up, please.
Letting that scrum conversation finish. Just knowing that 2 defenders are coming to me, I can put someone else into a gap. Those are the things that the coaches will be looking at.
Crouch! Bind! Set! Pre-engage. Pre-engage for the set. Can't scrum again.
Well, at the moment, Ireland are struggling to get
Let's go, lads.
a foothold, with England really ruling the roost in terms of territory. And from the free kick, that is a meaty carry from the vice-captain, Langdon. Atkinson, growing in confidence, decides to hold on, and maybe wisely so. Round the corner comes Kenningham. He gets split by Dara Murray. And that was close to unlocking the Irish defence for a 3rd time.
I disagree. We need to be patient with the calls. I'll give you 1 scrum the first round of the game. You've improved. You need to go back to where you've been.
It is really nice from England.
You've had the reward for the 2 scrums
They
previous.
are really trying to play. It's a lovely line by Kenningham. Bissila was probably the option. The ball just behind him, and Van Portman's trying to pick it up and just getting each other's way. But again, signs that they are growing in confidence. Trying to find some holes, some gaps, and understanding that when they get their hands free, there should be options left and right flooding through to pick up the offload.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Doak sizes up the backfield, and Hassel-Collins is racing back, and that is an outstanding clearance.
Brilliant kick by Doak. Again, just a little deception on the left-hand side of the scrum, just to give him a bit more time on this right-hand side. Pictures option, gets his foot right through the ball, and that is a really good net gain for Ireland.
Lads, Hooker, go to centre, please. Good. In you come, England.
Shortened line out from the hosts. To the tail. Success is bred once again. Pearson uses Fissel out. to dummy, and then the Exeter chief works hard to get himself back involved in the play. Atkinson, a Jomo, tackle coming in from Postlethwaite. Explosive clear out from Vissalau. And Van Portfleet has somehow managed to land that ball in the grip of his fellow half-back partner. Langdon, space on the left edge. Langdon looking for the offload. It goes forward, and Hassel Collins will slide home. That has to be chalked off.
Say between the initial pass and the Langdon offload.
The decision is try because I have a ground in. I just got a suspicion on the forward pass and the last pass back inside me. So on-field decision try.
I suspect this will be chalked off, but let's have a look just in case.
Yeah, Ben, I'm going to show you 2 throwing it forward as he goes through on the touchline.
Okay.
Did it hit the hand Brantingham as well?
So that comes out his hand forward to 11.
Come back on field then.
I think there would have been uproar across the Irish Sea.
Pass. So no try. It's going to be a scrum.
I think deep down they knew.
I think everyone in Ashton knew, actually, given the response of the crowd here, which is a healthy one as well. It's been fantastic to see the way that the A programme has been embraced, and it's certainly one that Ireland are looking to build upon as well. They may have been dormant in terms of A fixtures, but they've had a very active emerging Ireland programme. They've travelled to South Africa, they've travelled to Italy as well, so the pathway is very much there. A number of lily pads in place to move from province to the Aviva.
Bind! Set! Stay up!
Harry Byrne won't be returning.
Use it!
So Doak passes to Hugh Gavin. Frawley reinstalled at fly half.
Use it! Let's go!
Just a bit of additional scaffolding offered by Smith. And Doak again, all he can do is seek the salvation of the touchline from his box.
On the line, Nadja.
Yeah, he has kicked well from the base of those rucks and trying to give some energy into his team for the final 5 minutes or so. Ireland have had a lot of disruption. Players coming off injured. Harry Byrne not going to return as well. He was off the bench as well. So, coaches spoke about adaptability, and that's going to be the name of the game as the rest of this game continues.
Well, no compete from Ireland, so despite the fact that that moved wickedly in the wind, it's play on for England, and you wonder, should they be putting just anyone up if England persists with the tail? But as it is, they get embroiled in a muscular clinch with Hugh Gavin and co. More called, and the physical battle won by Ireland on this occasion.
And play on more.
Sorba going direct, trying his best to get his knees to the ground, but Ireland had a couple of players all over him. Smith, Postlethwaite was in there as well. Gavin is centre partner too. And once they get his body height like that, it's very difficult to recover that ball, and Ireland get the turnover.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
A solid platform for Doak to move left. Postlethwaite's there, he straightens and dismisses Van Portfleet, to his credit, clings on for dear life. What an arrival from Evan O'Connell. Finally, Ireland with a bit of breathing space to play. Gavin is isolated there, and Kenningham is one man you don't want to see arching over you when you're all alone on the floor. More breakdown burglary from the Quinn.
And you can see Gavin punching the block because he knew Ireland had really good momentum, but because he didn't pass the ball and carried, he ended up going into Kenningham and Tom Pearson as well. So if one didn't get you, the other one was going to. And Ireland, after some really, really good phases, get turned over at the breakdown.
Well, Jack Henningham, he's been a linchpin of Quinn's season this year, and it's off the back of a couple of horrible years of injuries, broken leg. He broke his neck in a game against Sale, and he didn't actually realise he'd broken his neck. It was only later that night when his dad drove him to hospital. So he's made of tough stuff, and he's getting a run of games, and he's finding some impressive form. His other back row companion, Tom Pearson, gets felled by the Irish defence, and it's a squabble out there.
Ireland have won the ball, lads. It becomes unfair. It's an Ireland scrum.
And Ireland get the call. Barbary is back onto the field, having passed his HIA.
What I'd say is we're trying to come in clear. They're all blocking our clears, which is giving them that chance.
I thought the Jack was a really good pitch on the ball.
Yeah, but they're blocking. The boys that made the tackle are blocking his
I disagree. I think he wins the race and wins the ball. And it becomes unplayable, scrum.
There we go, Van Portley asking the question about trying to clear that breakdown away, trying to get good ball speed. He thinks Ireland are in there disrupting England's flow, but the referee seems to disagree.
What was your style of captaincy back in the day, Topsy? I bet very genteel, I would imagine.
Well, it's a fine balance, isn't it? You know, you want the referee to be on your side, but you also don't want to push him too far that he won't listen to you. So actually, just asking the question, planting those seeds in there, showing that your team are trying to do the right thing, play the right way, and paint good pictures. So England have probably had the ascendancy in this first half, so it's perfectly entitled for Jack to say, look, you know, we're trying to play quickly, we're carrying, we're winning the game line. They're actually cheating to slow us down, so can you give us the advantage? And so far, I think he's done really well.
Well, the word from within the camp is that he's been outstanding all week, Van Portley, not just in terms of his leadership, but in the manner in which he's executed his play. And you'd have to say that sort of that England 9-21 jersey, that's one of the areas that is open for discussion at the moment with regards to England and the senior team.
Absolutely, and it's a great discussion to have because it shows that you have the talent that is able to make that step up to full international level. See, Jack had that shirt 2 years ago, and now he's trying to force his way back in. You look at the way England are trying to play, and weirdly, the way that their style has changed through the Six Nations almost lends itself to different nine strengths. You know, whether it's a running game, you might want an Alex Mitchell and a Jack Van Portley. If you're going to kick more, maybe you're looking at a Ben Spencer. And of course, Harry Randall had the running game within him as well that suits it to more of a broken game plan. So it's interesting at the minute, and I think the dust will need to settle in terms of how England are actually going to play the game going forwards. You know, are they going to settle on a style? Is that style going to chop and change depending on the opponent? So we'll see, but at the moment it looks like Mitchell is hands and shoulders number one, and everybody else is scrapping for number two.
Final 100 seconds of the half. Doak looks to release this back line, which has been living off attacking scraps in the last 30 minutes.
Use it! Not the night,
Evan O'Connell comes and lends his 6'7" frame and 108 kilos.
You're laying on him now. You're laying on top of him now.
Re-resourcing the ball, and he's in the thick of it again.
Step back, England. Use it. Step back, step back.
Doak, eyes up. England's second row's in front of him. And again, box is clear. One last attacking platform for England before the break.
Ireland doing really well, but of course we referenced the rain, the wind as well, and it's really, really difficult out there. I mean, we saw Atkinson actually kick from the right side of the field to this left-hand touchline. Such is the strength of the breeze. So Ireland will want to get to half-time with the score the way it is, if not try and add something of their own in this last minute.
Leave now.
Ireland heavily disrupted by injuries in this first half too. Stephen Smith, one of the men deployed early, prematurely from the bench. And O'Toole consumed by the English defence. Now injured. Now Gavin has worked incredibly hard. He's made some unglamorous meters for Ireland. Meters that are conceded back to England through O'Brien's mishandling. And that'll be the final action of a challenging half of rugby, given the conditions and given the nature of these teams being thrown together this week. But it is England A who are prospering in the wet here in Bristol. Half-time at Ashton Gate. England A 14, Ireland A 5. Well, all these players have dreams of playing for England proper, and one of the recent graduates is Tom Willis.
I'm Tom Willis. I play for Saracens and England Rugby. I'm a number 8, so I'm at the back of the scrum. Main sort of priority for a number 8 is to get the team on the front foot, so carry the ball as much as possible, and then have massive work rate is required, sort of get for a lot of work on both sides of the ball, whether that be attack, defence, set piece. So yeah, it's got a lot of responsibilities. Growing up, so I was very close to my family. Obviously lived with my mum and dad's, very close to my brother Jack and my sister Annabelle. I was having a lot of fun with them. I just remember, incredibly fun childhood. And my grandparents lived 2 doors down from us as well, so incredibly close to them. So I grew up in Reading, not masses to say about it. I grew up in Caversham. If anyone's been to Reading Festival, that's sort of the biggest sort of event that happens around there. But yeah, Reading's not the liveliest place in the world, but yeah, I've moved around a fair bit since then. My first Reading Festivals experience was when I was 15, 16, whenever you get your GCSEs, you get your results, you're sort of happy enough, mine were pretty average, and then you head straight down there together with a big group, ready to camp down there. I remember being incredibly out of my depth, going in the queue, hiding some vodka in my sleeping bag and sweating so much, not knowing what was going to go on. I think it was Arctic Monkeys was the headliner, so it was a pretty cool weekend. Got to rugby at quite a young age, about 8 or 9 when I got into it. I was always a bit of a chubby kid, so I sort of was just doing it because my brother and my dad were doing it, and it felt like the right thing to be doing. And it wasn't until I was about 14, 15 where I had a bit of a growth spurt and really sort of started kicking on and enjoying the game. Probably my earliest memories was at Reading Abbey Rugby Football Club, watching my dad play literally every weekend, every Saturday we'd watch him play, home and away. Massive support on him, he loved it. So yeah, when you're there watching him, even from the age of 4 or 5, you're chucking the ball about. And then after that, got into it more and more. He then started bringing us along on Sunday mornings, so we'd watch him on Saturday, and then me and my brother Jack would play on the Sunday morning. Really cool club, like massive sort of community club, really close. And also my dad had been part of it for such a long time that the club then cared about you massively as well.
So Tom Willis, a man who showed up at the Stoop at the back end of last year and was involved in the Six Nations yesterday. England's man who's really showed up today is their captain. A bit of a solo spectacular for Jack Van Portfleet, and drawing the celebrations of his teammates around him. So half-time here at Ashton Gate, and it's one that England's tops here are in a bit of control with, although not a handsome margin on the scoreboard, 14-5.
Yeah, it's been a good half. I mean, Ireland probably started in the ascendancy, had the best of the opening 5 minutes, and then England worked their way into the game, found a bit of control, got the opening score, got pegged back, and then the back end of the first half again just managed to assert a bit more control. Of course, Ireland, a lot of disruption with injuries, trying to reshuffle the pack, trying to reshuffle the backs as well. But England will be the happier of the sides going into half-time.
Well, they'll be very happy with the architecture around that first try. There was some delicious instinctive handling to release Ollie Hassel-Collins down the left wing.
Yeah, absolutely, and this is one of the pleasing things, of course. You know, we've still got the second half to go, but the fact that both teams are combining really, really well, and for England, they're able to balance their forwards carrying versus, right, there is space on the outside, let's now move the ball and go and get there. So this passage of play started back on the halfway line. We see a lovely line break on the right-hand side. That's beautiful by Elliott, and actually that just sets the break down a bit further so England can stay on the front foot, and then some lovely handling. We're talking about the conditions, but actually we also said be brave. When the opportunity comes, you have to be able to move the ball, you have to be able to execute under pressure. Lovely by Atkinson, really good handling, and Ollie Hassel-Collins gets the first try of the game.
Well, you use the expression there to be brave and to be adventurous, and this was the time that we saw Ireland put a bit of air on the ball, and I wonder will they be talking at the half-time of can we play in this fashion a little bit more, because we haven't seen them as expansive as England.
No, but I mean they absolutely can, because again when they get into those areas of the pitch they're capable of moving the ball, and that's another lovely finish, good hands and tight quarters. But this was a moment and a half, again of course taking advantage of the man down, some disruption in that Ireland defence, players doing different things, and Van Poortvliet, who has been really good in this first half, he'll take that all day long, but then the acceleration to go and finish it as well, to slide over, really good. So he'll be happy with his first half as captain, and so will England as well.
It would be remiss of us to not mention the fires that Ireland have been fighting out there as well. We saw in the background there when Van Poortvliet was scoring his try, Harry Byrne down injured. He's one of 3 players to have gone off in that first half, so it is backs to the wall stuff for Ireland.
Yeah, it is, and what we just talked about, that would have affected their momentum, because they're trying to figure out who's in the right position, trying to regenerate momentum. Of course, never nice to see a teammate go off. So hopefully this half-time they'll settle, they'll have some good, calm conversations, and they'll show a bit more of what they did in smatterings in that first half.
And from an England perspective, is it a simple case of more of the same and we'll get the win?
Absolutely, I think they've carried really well, they've combined well within those carries, and the backs that have looked to really exploit the space when they've been given it. So more of the same, when the guys on the bench will be itched to get on and be part of the action, to showcase what they can do, add some more energy, add some more accuracy, and try and win this game in an impressive fashion to the coaches watching.
Well, one man with plenty of energy in all of his deeds is Marcus Smith, and there's a lovely piece from England Rugby on this Rose.
And it's so powerful in that, and I've learned to realise that it's a skill, it's a proper skill to be able to fully commit to rugby and meetings and seeing opportunities and solving problems, and then the minute you're at home, I guess switching out of it into the real world, getting outside of the rugby bubble, chatting to my brothers about life that they're living, not just mine, because for me that's important, and I hope they find it interesting as well, talking about their life, because obviously rugby is a big part of the Smith family's life. We probably talk about it a lot. It's also important, I think, to do things that I guess we are a normal family, but other families do potentially that aren't playing rugby for the countries. Yeah, that's a good spot. I do have a guitar, yeah.
Can you play?
Yeah, I can, yeah. Again, guitar for me, that's my newest guitar. I've got 2 guitars. My mum had a plan when we were young. It's just completely opposite end of the spectrum from rugby, but she had a plan. Obviously, I've got 2 younger brothers. She wanted us to be the Jonas Brothers, the new Jonas Brothers. So I was the eldest, so I did guitar lessons. My middle brother did drum lessons, and my youngest brother did piano lessons. We all threw our hat in to try and sing, which none of us were any good at. But again, it takes me away from, I guess, my day-to-day current life. This is my only life, but my day-to-day, I guess, habits and behaviours into a world where I don't really spend much time, which again is a good way for me to clear my mind, relax, not think too much about what's going on, and zone out a bit. Do that song? Yeah. Not see it. Quite relaxing. Hurts my fingers a bit, so my passing's a bit off. Just the steel strings, but yeah, it's a nice way to just chill out.
Nice little piece that to get to see behind the curtain, and well, if they do get the band together, unfortunately the Smiths is already taken. But I think we can all agree that Marcus is a charming man.
He is. He's how long have you been saving that one?
It came to me like a lightning bolt, which we might see here with the weather tonight and today. Who knows? Who knows?
Play.
But look, he was one of the maestros at Twickenham yesterday for the Six Nations. We were both there. What did you make of that Calcutta Cup triumph?
Yeah, I mean, obviously my role there is always chaotic afterwards, so I like to almost sleep on it to really gauge my reaction. I mean, look, first and foremost, it's 2 back-to-back wins for the first time in a year for England. So that is a step forward in this journey of growth that they talk about a lot. Was it a pretty win? No, absolutely not. And, you know, sometimes the Calcutta Cup can deliver classics, and sometimes they're just dogfights that you just need to get on the other side. I think the question for England going forwards now is, as we touched on in commentary, what team do they really want to be? Do they want to be a team that has this all-court game that attacks? Do they want to be a team that is able to adapt depending on the opposition? Or are they a team that's going to just set their stall out and say, this is how we play, it's up to you to stop us? So those are the questions that hopefully they're going to answer through the rest of the Six Nations. They got over the line against tough opposition. They will still be with a shout of winning the championship, depending on what Ireland do further down the track. And they can finish with their best Six Nations finish in a while with the last 2 games to go. So all in all, they are moving in the right direction, but they still have a lot of work to do.
So not the perfect performance, I'm sure that everyone can agree, but it's also, I guess it's the missing ingredient that everyone bemoaned in the autumn. It's that 1% winners mentality. It's winning when you're playing ugly. So as an England fan or as an England group, I'm sure that everyone, you can't complain really.
And this is it, you know, it's a perennial danger within sports. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. They were maybe playing better in the autumn and losing. Didn't play as well yesterday and won. They won 2 in a row. So which camp do you sit in? Which are you happier with? You know, the ideal as a fan, of course, is for them to score 6 tries, win by 30, have a great day. But you speak to the players, you understand the reality of the Six Nations in particular. Test match rugby is tough. It's bruising, it's uncompromising, and a lot of the games are 1-point scores.
What about the history hunters? What about the champions in waiting, if you will, who almost had their journey derailed at Cardiff yesterday? That was an extraordinary match that no one saw coming.
No, absolutely not. You know, testament to Ireland coming through that challenge. You know, they made a lot of changes to the lineup, 7, I think. They had to get through that. They had to get through the 20-minute red card as well. But ultimately, they come out the other side. And, you know, we spoke pre of this game about what's in it, bigger picture. Those guys who don't have many caps, those guys who don't play as options, some youngsters coming on prop, making their debuts, getting 2, 3, 4 caps. Big opportunity for them in tough conditions in Cardiff yesterday. But Ireland move forward. It's all in their hands. The opportunity to go on and make history, the opportunity to go on and potentially win another Grand Slam 2 in 3 years, which I think might be unprecedented. So again, they are moving in the right direction.
Do you think that performance, or I guess the nature of what they had to go through mentally, will stand them in good stead when they come to their tests against Italy and probably France mainly, is what everyone has in their crosshairs?
Absolutely. You know, you look at what happened in Cardiff yesterday, look at what happened against England in round 1. It's never all going to go your own way, but ultimately you need to be able to see the game out and get the job done when it's in your hands, and they did that. They've done that for 3 rounds. They've got 2 more. The next game against France is huge. They do that, and then it's all in their own hands going to Italy. So they'll be happy. They will move forward. They are a winning machine, and you know, other teams would love to be in the position they are, where they can rotate whoever's out on the pitch, that 15, and they can still win international games.
Right, well, that was yesterday, and we are firmly focused on today, and we heard from Lewis Deacon actually moments ago.
Deeks, ahead of the half, what that first half performance you're?
I love the intent of the lads. Just like to see us build a little bit more pressure. Seem to be letting it off a little bit.
In terms of the conditions, they seem to have managed them really well. You still managed to throw the ball around, the forwards are fronting up.
Yeah, you can't fault the intent. Yeah, really happy with the intent. Like I say, if we can just build a bit more pressure in the second half, it would be great.
Thanks, Deeks. Go, let go.
40 minutes to secure victory for England, or 40 minutes for Ireland to mount a comeback. Alfie Barbary has been reinstalled sides, they've come under various guises over the years. Saxons, Wolfhounds, and if you cast your mind back a very long time ago, that predates me, the combined provinces. But no matter the moniker, stitched beneath the crest, it is a rivalry festooned in ferocious competition. And we have a fierce 40 to go here at Ashton Gate. England's with the lead, kicking off into the arms of Ireland, who trail 14 points to 5. Sean Jansen.
Take him back, use it!
As he styles some of his play on Rene Ranger. Hasn't had too much opportunity to explode out in the wide channels. But a big shot coming in on Joe Cocker to really ride it well, because Dara Murray's a big boy. And England have the possession, which was very much the trend in the first 40.
Use it!
Hopefully you can see his jersey fluttering. That's the level of bluster. Alfie Barbary toes one through. That's going to be a tricky one to reel in for Gavin. It slips from his fingers and it'll be a 5-metre scrum to England.
Back to Ireland, it's
Ireland
scrum.
claiming there was a knock-on from some. Here he comes. Really good kick by Van Portley.
Wasn't fading here, wasn't fading. We keep our process.
What a great opportunity for England. Start of the second half, minute and a half in, scrum 5 metres out. Big blind side, good open side as well.
Who knew that Alfie Barbary had such a cultured left boot?
It's the first scrum of the second half, lads. We found our weight on your ball. Let's respect the same and make sure we accept the hit, okay?
The scrum is ready to reset, and from his footballing prowess, Barbary will likely be licking his lips at the prospect of maybe a kick from the base. But he's denied the opportunity because Phil Bransingham's knee goes to floor.
It's all good, man. Loose head, knee to ground.
So that's the carbon copy of the first half. In the first half, it was the elbow that went.
It's a loose head.
And then on this occasion,
Inside knee
it's
to ground.
the knee that goes. Just not quite finding his balance. This opening scrum will have a really good shot here straight away. So he was right on the engage. Knee goes straight to floor.
Bit of a higgledy-piggledy line being offered by
It's on the outside arm.
both sets of players. But we did touch on it there, that Ireland going for the tail and just England offering any presence on the lift has meant that that is being called not straight.
Again, tactically, you wouldn't leave the tail of the lineup open, but given the conditions and the wind in particular, you almost challenge the hooker to say, right, if you can hit 15 metres, go for it. But of course, we put a pot up near the front. If it's not straight, and with the wind, it's likely to go to that outside arm. We'll get the turnover from the line out. So again, both teams, both coaches just need to think about how they manage that line out.
Solid as a rock. Van Portfleet told to use it. And the short side is probed, end over end, and a jag to the right. It'll be an Ireland throw.
On the line. On the line, please, yes.
Nice kick by Van Portley. Would have loved for that just to have stayed in field, but the bounce of a ball.
Smith again finds his radar compromised by the elements.
option. So, yeah, better than the last one. There's a collapse on the last far side, but this side's a lot better, okay?
Well, that side of England chose to put 2 pods up. You see Kenningham at the front and then Lockett in the middle as well. So
time off. Ireland 3 and 4. Change, lads.
They have great options, England, don't they, in terms of lifters, Kenningham, Pearson as well. Pearson played a lot of his younger rugby at second row.
Yeah, okay.
And Ireland
again, just better height from both
are
of you.
bringing
Okay,
some
up,
changes
feet
here.
okay.
Ollie Jaeger is on for Jack. Jaeger.
Crouch!
So a bit of new personnel
Stand up.
in the
Time off. Lads, come across.
front row. And Connor Otienick has replaced Evan O'Connell.
No, we're trying to chart
Connor
the front
Otienick there
The scrums didn't start off
was
with a very
sitting
good
his
completion
medical
rate.
exams
We fixed
earlier
it.
this week,
We're
so
back
he's
out
been
the
in and
second
out of
half,
camp
and we've gone back to the poor standards that we
and
set in
heading
the first half.
out to
This
do
can't
exams,
continue.
then coming
if it
back
does,
in.
other players come on.
So
balance and
there's
control
brains
the
as well
set
as brawn
and better height
in that number 19
in the
jersey.
field.
And great dedication to his studies as well as the green of Ireland.
just listen to Ben Breakspear laying the law down to both front rows. Wants to keep tempo in the game, wants these scrums to be quick, to be set early and to be stable as well, which is credit to him.
Crouch!
I think we can keep the momentum in the game.
Set! Up. No, listen to me. You need to get your bind longer. You need to get your elbow up and chase your feet. I'm not going to ask either of you again, lads. Better standards, please. Let's go.
Well, I think the universal opinion here at Ashton Gate is that we'd all like the scrums to be a little more stable and get a move on. I think for the poor backs out there as well, Topsy, I'm sure that you can sympathise standing out there in this rain that continues to find different gears as the minutes tick by.
All too well. Please get the ball out of the scrum, and there we go.
Barbary has a bit of a pep in his step, and he carries 3 green jerseys with him to 7 metres shy. Van Borthley clobbered by Jaeger.
No advantage. High tackle. It's indirect contact. Penalty only for me.
Well,
Number 18.
handling letting England down, but the penalty was already in the back pocket.
I'm not
And
checking, lads. I give him the penalty. We're playing from here.
Langdon and England have a little tap move. Is it going to be straight up the guts? Yes, it is. Backing their power, backing their brawn. Barbary.
On the goal line. Advantage. Offside.
England right in the shadow of the uprights and reach from Tizard, but every Irish hand available is underneath to deny England. Magnificent. Langdon. He wants his try and he wants it now. Swallowed up by the Irish. England back round the corner, pick and go. An old school forward feel.
Away now. Use it.
Tizard glances up, goes it alone. Makes no meters, coughs up possession. And a huge psychological defensive win for the Irishman.
Really big defensive stand there by Ireland. Always thought it was inevitable that England would get over the line, but
we're not driving square. You're just walking
big
on the
shots
corner.
coming
Okay?
in.
I need a contact. Both sides square, please.
Tizard just losing the ball on the floor. Really good defence there. In numbers, driving England back.
Let's go, Ali!
Somewhere in all of that, pops out on the far left-hand side. The ball squirts forward.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
Doak directing a bit of traffic and he gets
yes, please, yes.
solid platform. So again, boom that ball off the field. He has been masterful from the base when it's come to relieving pressure.
He's he's had to do that a lot. But he's done it very well, getting some good distance on his kicks in testing
1, 2, 3 and
conditions.
14 subs.
As England look to
1,
make
2, 3.
a couple more replacements.
1, 3, 14, yeah, England, lads, yeah. 1, 3 and 14, lads.
1, 3 and 14, so Brantingham, Kloska and Elliott are making way. And on comes Tarek Hafar and Luke Green in the front row. And so too Gabriel Andre, Curtis Langdon is heading up as well. And the additional raw is because, of course, Gabriel Andre plies his trade here for the Bristol Bears.
In there, England, time on.
And very excitingly as well, George Hendy, wearing 23, has installed himself on England's right wing. Big defence arriving from Kieran Frawley. England set back and you can see that arrival coming at pace from Alex Kendall.
It's a great line speed by Ireland from the line out. But there was a knock-on in the tackle, so England are going to have the scrum.
Really pressured line out. Nice Eagle.
New personnel, gents. Standards so far haven't been great, so I need good height and good stability.
We do love the A-team, but this has not been the greatest 9 minutes and 22 seconds. So we're hoping in the second half, there's a lot of scrums.
Yeah, it has been. At this period of the game, especially with all the changes, substitutions coming on and off, the referee doing his very best to get some sort of standard in the scrum that he's happy with. Likely to be a bit of disruption, but look, hopefully the game will settle again. This is a lovely scrum platform. Got Atkinson sat right in the boot of the scrum, and this might be what we see in terms of the scrum, definitely.
Okay, take it home, players away. Just take it home, players away.
Well, Luke Green has settled into the front row conflict rather nicely. Seconds off the bench and straight into readjusting Tom O'Toole's collar.
As we were just discussing, you've got the scrum penalty. Let's get on with the game. And I think the referee certainly wants to get on with the game now. I think we're just going to see penalties now. Any infringement, there's not going to be any kind of talking to. It'll just be a penalty, and let's move away from it.
Keep going, lads. Keep going. Keep going. I'm on centre, so keep moving, please. Keep going. I'm on centre, keep going.
Here are the additionals.
I'm going to set you on the end of the cut of the grass. Respect that space and
Luke
keep
Green
it.
has had some journey. Formerly of London Irish. He's had a few stamps on his rugby passport since. Anthill, San Diego Legion in the MLR, and now Northampton Saints and a fully fledged England A international. Well, that looks a great picture being offered by Ireland at the breakdown, and it's outstanding work from Hugh Gavin, the inside centre, performing like a back row out there.
Technically superb. Getting a decent enough carry, but England short of cleaners to that breakdown. Good chop tackle there. England are actually coming in for the side of that breakdown as well, so well done Gavin, staying in the fight, staying in there, and gets his rewards.
He set up a couple of wonderful tries for the Ireland 20s in Cape Town last summer. Hugh Gavin, he's sort of taken the ball and bailed out Ireland a lot today, but in free space he can really create for those around him. And he's a young man, just 21 years old. First Connacht start last week against Cardiff,
Okay, let's go, lads.
developing rather nicely. The Connacht and Galwegian man. Well,
there's a compete in the
there
front
is
court, lads, and the forward
a
and straight.
complete breakdown in communication
Option.
as far as Ireland's line-out is
Option,
concerned.
scrum or line, lads.
And you have to forgive them because I didn't realise that there was an extra gear for the rain to get to Topsy.
I mean, yeah, that picture doesn't show you any justice. I mean, it is blowing a gale, and yeah, it's getting more miserable by the minute. So you can see the wind blowing from left to right, so the formula is for either team compete and try and get a pod up, force the other team to throw to the tail. The likelihood is, even if the throw is straight, the ball is going to travel sideways, and if it's not straight, you're going to get the decision.
You must have a meteorological degree that I don't know about, Toxic. How can you tell that's going left to right? It's chaos out there.
I guess.
Second time early. I will come across as a second time early. We won in the first half.
Ben Breakspear's patience, I think, has been worn down to the nub now as far as scrum time is concerned, and there's no resets, it's just straight penalties, and England are the ones profiting right now.
Good.
Oh, great. Finds his man in the middle. It's transferred to Barbary, who breaks free and skittles into some green jerseys. Finally, quick ball for Butts and England. And Portfleet to Kenningham, who stutters, restarts and gets propelled through the hole by his teammates. Barbary out of the blind spot. Best passage of play from either side in this second half. O'Gray not held, so he goes again.
Onside Ireland.
Ireland poised, looming large to make try-stopping hits, and the low one desperately clung to by Bolton, denies the men in white, and they've turned it over as well.
Ball available. Ball's available.
Ireland living on the edge,
Take a step.
but
Take a step.
fully
Use
committed
it.
to preserving the integrity of their whitewash in this second half.
Use it. Let's go.
Doak does what Doak does, but England will launch again from the line out.
They will. I mean, it's been a serious defensive effort by Ireland in the second half so far.
Okay. Time off.
Don't actually think the ball has crossed the halfway line.
Yeah, watch it stop, gents.
It's just been England's dominance of possession and territory, but no change in the scoreboard, so Ireland will be happy with that. Just be desperate to try and work their way up the pitch somehow.
10 HA, yeah. I have to count them as well, so I'll always give you time to react on, okay? Just hold
Those
us.
faces paints a picture of 1,000 words. It's a bit of a glum out look at the moment, but their team are hanging in there despite this bombardment from
number 10,
England.
the doctor's called a HA, yeah?
And there is only 9 points is the difference. There's some changes on for Ireland. That's Brian Gleeson, who I've heard in days gone by, years gone by, described as the most exciting prospect in the country.
Yeah, nothing in that phase, Ben.
And I think there's an HIA for Kieran Frawley now. So another fly half is lost to the physicality of the match. O'Gray flips it out the back. Atkinson needs to free it up, but it's a timely arrival from O'Brien. Oh, Barbary almost reads an intercept, but Gavin gets his mitts on it.
Use it. Taco.
There's Paddy McCarthy, who's also fresh onto the field. Bringing his weight to the breakdown. Stodgy for Ireland. Doak is now at fly half, so that's Finton Gunn. And he hasn't been practicing his boxes off his left by the looks of things. Ireland right back under pressure. Another purposeful carry from Pearson, who aquaplanes almost into the 22. Ball dislodged, and it's a penalty for playing the 9. Van Portfleet looking to have plenty of time, finding Kenningham, who dribbles one into the 22. It's not what he's known for, but it may just have worked out.
No advantage, lads.
Slipping and sliding in the danger zone. And mercifully for Ireland, the blast of Ben Breakspear's whistle saves their bacon 5 metres out.
Partner up for the 9.
England want to play. Atkinson skips inside. I know Tiernig is there. Oh, and just a glance up from Tom Lockett as the Irish line arrives. And here's Gleeson. Out wide, feet in touch, no advantage coming. A bit of chaos, obviously, in the last few minutes.
Chaos is the word, absolutely. As England make more changes. Again, I have to stress it is incredibly difficult, the conditions out there.
I'm going to go that side, yeah.
England probing away, looking for opportunities, showing some really good industry. That last pass just lacking. You see more players about to get their opportunities in this A side.
Okay, quick shot.
Another fresh face into the front row, and I can tell you that Kieran Frawley's failed his HIA, so Brian Gleeson, who's a back row, remains on. And there is Paddy McCarthy, who you'll recognise the surname, brother Big Joe, was doing the business in Cardiff for the seniors yesterday in the Six Nations. He's actually travelled from Cardiff to come and see his brother make his Island A bow, the Trinity College student.
Advantage. Not driving square.
Ireland finally get a penalty at the scrum.
Not driving square, it's gone around the tight dead.
And an opportunity to maybe break free from their half.
Well, they've done the first job, which is clear their lines from the penalty. The next job will be to figure out the line out. Again, talk about the disruption. I mean, might need a second just to figure out who's playing in what positions. You've got two lines on the pitch, so Doka's got to fly half.
So I'll give you time to react.
Actually looks like Max Deegan is now on the left wing, or at least he's sitting out of this line-out, so there's all sorts going on.
More.
Tierney takes the banker ball at the front that you question whether Ireland should have been going for all along. Postlethwaite does well to stoop and collect with the ball skidding at his laces. Good disruption from, I think it was Ogray, being a pest in the breakdown. Richard Capstick, yes, the chief is on, wearing 19 for England. He's as adept at back row as he is second row. Hendy is about to get slotted by Deegan, and the mere presence of the Irish captain sees him come up with the error.
The second one was forward.
No knock-on called until maybe a whisper in the ear of Ben Breakspear. Ireland into the England half.
I think you could scream from the Irish coaching staff as well, all the way from up here. They were adamant. That was a knock-on.
You're squaring, it's going on the corner behind you. Everyone needs to go through the mark.
Deegan doing a good job on that kick chase as well. At least, you know, he might be out of position, but
we need to stay in the patience.
It'll give you energy for sure.
Both sides just come through the mark.
Now switching over to the right wing.
Well, you can just see him there in the top left with the bobble on. When Sean O'Brien screams at you, even if he is in the middle tier of Ashton Gate, you tend to do as you're told.
Absolutely, and like I say, given Ireland have been defending for pretty much the whole of the second half, 20 minutes camped inside their own 22, inside their own half. The opportunity now to be up the field, to be able to put some pressure on England is huge.
Ireland inside of the English line for the first time, and it's a big hit that comes from a Jomo on Bolton, who's seared in from his wing. Jansen, full of industry, brawls his way into the 22. Gavin caught man and ball and butt.
Don't play the line, don't play the line.
O'Brien, his turn to play first receiver. And, well, he's greeted by three Englishmen who aren't going to let him get to the floor. And it'll be an English turnover, and the opportunity gone for the men in green.
Big collisions coming in there from England. Final one being Tom Lockett, Tarek Kafar. Also Max Ojomo coming up with a really big read. That's the World Cup one as well. So
It's a reason the referee meant to tell him.
Good signs for the England coaching staff. Yes, they've had the ball for most of this second half, but actually when they've been called upon to defend just now,
We had good ball out in the last
stick
one.
to task and effective
Yeah,
turnover.
happy with the last one. There was a bit of movement when the ball came on the far side, but while the ball is in the scrum, we have a contest is better.
Feel for O'Brien. He's probably thinking, right, I've not touched the ball in this second half. Let me try and get myself involved, but run into two of the bigger men on the pitch and
not necessarily you, because
get yourself held up.
having fun just.
That's for the dynamic reshift.
Yeah, they're just.
There's a sighting of the brains behind the operation, and see bottom left there, Lee Blackett, who I only ever hear spoken in voluminous terms about the quality of his coaching, and to the right there he's got Aidan Thomas, who is the recently installed defensive head at Exeter Chiefs as well. He was instrumental alongside Mark Mapletoft in delivering the under-20s crown to England as well last summer. These are names of the future. These are guys who can have a serious say amongst the rest of them there at full international level.
Absolutely, you know, that's a snapshot of the pathway and how it should be and how it should work, you know, from 18s, 20s to the 18, right the way through to the full international setup. Players and coaches showing that they're capable of producing at all the levels, so, you know, it's great for English rugby that they've now seemed to have got themselves back on the right path towards doing that. And now the proof is, can we be successful at all those age groups? Of course, we know how successful the under-20s have been. We're seeing the proof of the A-team now producing more players that go on to full internationals. And hopefully that transfers right the way across the breadth of that England rugby pathway.
Stay on your feet, making the tackle as well, please. On the line, Ireland.
Run the line.
It's a hugely exciting time, I think, the pathway across all the nations. The under-20s is thriving, and now the re-emergence of the A-team scene, I think it is very, very exciting. And the path is really crystallised as to how to get to the Viva, to Twickenham, to World Cups, and maybe even Lions for some of these. Hendy makes the ball his.
This guy off feet.
And the penalty goes to Ireland as England go off their feet.
19.
Tommy O'Brien in a hurry. The Dubliner sinks it up to the 22.
He's cold now, he wants to get on with the game.
Well, Ireland have ridden out the storm in their 22. This is now their time to apply pressure. A score right now makes things very interesting. I've never seen a line-up play quite like that. But it's worked for Ireland, that's the main thing. And it's England's turn to have their defensive credentials checked. And Fisselau and Pearson pass with flying colours. England trying to hold the Irish runners up at the moment. O'Tierney chips it to Doak, fast hands and across to Smith. Smith scampering in the wide channels and blasting through two challenges. Ball squirms free. Penalty advantage for Ireland. Doak. Oh, just
Number 16
can't get the
doesn't
ball
roll and there's a left on the ball.
to Jaeger. But Ireland tap and they go and they dance.
We're not in the mark, sorry lads. It's more than 5.
The message has definitely come on for Ireland. Let's increase the tempo. We've got momentum now, we've got energy, we've made all our changes. Let's now settle into a rhythm and really show what we can do with the time that's left remaining. Starting to build some pressure, starting to put England on the back foot. Desperate for a score from this line out.
Can't get in treatment, lads. Time off.
The slam dunk.
Well, hey, it worked. I mean, that lift has gone all wrong, but still managed to get away. Really good hands again in this condition. We see this a lot with Irish teams. That hooker in those wide channels, stretching the attack, making the defence cover the width of the pitch. It's just where the attack breaks down, but they knew they could come back for the penalty.
Time back on.
Former Crusader Ollie Jaeger, who is one of the props being courted to be the next generation. Maybe one of the few obvious vulnerabilities in Irish rugby at the moment, and Ireland's have had a woeful day with the line out, unfortunately. Architects of their own downfall when they've made it into the England 22.
Hold on side. Use it! Step!
Van Portfleet keeps this one in. Bolton, the try scorer, spots a bit of room and accelerates into Tarek Hafar. Gunn playing out of position. Follows the play as Ireland thrash their way into the 22. O'Brien is full of verve and gusto, isn't he? He wants to be a man who makes the difference. Jaeger has not one but two juggles before reeling the pass in. Jansen muscled back. Doak. England flying forward. George Henley kicking through. The flame-haired Saints in red-hot finishing form.
Confirmed it was a knock-on in the tackle. We only got on delayed, so it was a knock-on on the 22 metres.
Lads, it's confirmed by the TMO there's a knock-on the tackle, so there's a no try. We go back to the scrum. Knock-on in the tackle.
Yeah, there was a question mark straight away, and this one is coming back.
Just outside the 22, in line with the post there.
Have a look at the replay here. As Postlethwaite's trying to get this ball away, the right arm of Wilbur clearly hits the ball. Thought we'd had our first try the second half, but we're going to go back for another scrum.
This is a knock on the tackle, lads, yes.
George Hendy's effort chalked off. So we stay at 14-5. That was exactly the man you wanted that ball to fall to from an England perspective. He is
last two scrums
extraordinary scoring rate.
The last two scrums are in good
7 in 9 appearances this season for Saints, 21 in 31 across his Saints career.
And he has form of coming off the bench and coming up with really big scores as well. I think none more so than in the Premiership final. Actually, if I remember rightly, he picked up man of the match off the bench, which, again, unheard of, but shows you the value of having someone that can come on and change the game.
Captain Jack Van Portfleet has made way for Harlequins' Will Porter, who is the heir apparent for the Danny Kerr dynasty by the looks of things at Harlequins going forward. There's another scrum penalty to England. And Will Porter has assumed the captaincy as well. Curtis Langdon, the vices off the field, so just coming on, but also assuming the mantle as the leader. 12 minutes to make his mark. He's numberless on the back of his shirt. Fissalau injects himself at velocity. Green, smart ball inside, but asks too much of Hendy.
Push back, England, sit back.
That's a good kick. England are a little out of position. Shilcock is racing back and he's all alone with Bolton bearing down upon him. But the coolest customer in the southwest gets wiped out the second he grubbers through. There was real venom in the arrival from Kendallen and McCarthy. It was a beautiful bit of pirouetting to see him break free.
He does really well initially, doesn't he, to get out of trouble. Lovely step, and then just as he grubbers here...
Ben, just let us down a sec.
Wait, you just set this one up properly, lads.
When he's kicked it through, 17 green is not wrapped as he's making the contact, so it's a penalty against 17 green.
When it's penalty only done, yeah?
Penalty only for me.
Okay. Captain, just wait, just
Here we
wait.
take a look. It wasn't about the timing, it was about the absence of a wrap from Paddy McCarthy.
After the kick through, there's a no arms tackle penalty only, so we're going to not do the line out. Yeah. So penalty on the 15 with the ball landed to England, okay?
Yeah, just a rubber, remains on the rubber.
Yeah, but it's in 15, just land in the channel, okay? It's just going to be a penalty here, lads. So the penalty here is a no arms tackle. Yeah, that's okay.
Gabriel
Time is off next, so just make sure you got the right numbers on you.
Will get to throw in for the line out, but he gets to do it a further 20 metres forward as the penalty is, well, it's going to be much further forward. In fact, it's going to be right in the corner here for Ireland. It's like Ollie Jaeger has made way, so another injury for Ireland and the wider group to contend with. They've been at the High Performance Centre this week. They haven't trained with the seniors. They've been training as an isolated unit, as their own entity, and they get a line-out steal, which they so desperately need. Certainly there are individuals out on the field, and in this 23 that Simon Easterby and co will have had eyes on and thinking about whether they could factor them into further Six Nations plans.
I have to count them as well, so I'll always give you time to react then, okay? Good.
It's difficult to know. Obviously, we've still got 10 minutes or so left, but the disruption has been so difficult for Ireland to build any cohesion to really show what they can do as a squad.
Oh, Gray almost hydraulically launches Gleeson from him. Fissalau, who's been so explosive, brought great energy from the bench. Oh, Gray is another man who fires from close range. Hafar, where's the contact? Drives forward, then he's carried back across the line. The Irish team told to leave the ball. England will have another charge. They dive bomb, but they miss their mark. Still the big forwards cluster. Still they look for the path of least resistance. And Tariq Hafar gets held up. When will we get some second half points, Topsy?
When England, probably given they have the ascendancy, just go back to what they did in the first half and choose that moment to be brave. I think they could have walked it in on the left or the right. And actually, again, with the conditions, it's easy to soak up tackles that close to the line and just fall back with the player. So once you've narrowed the defence up, move the ball, go and score the try.
On the full higher.
And Jamie Shawcock's attempted grubber through only meets the shins of Irishman.
Again, you know, it's so difficult to win collisions that close to the line. You have to stay on the goal line. You can't get off the line and make the shot. So actually, use the player's momentum against them. It's actually really clever defence, and England have got 7 or so minutes to solve the problem.
The goal line defence of Ireland has been courageous, though, all match. They've been under assault in their 22 for much of this second half, and England have been unable to find a way through. Maybe Hendy will find a way around instead. Rushes aside O'Brien. Hendy denied moments ago, but making avenues into the Irish half. Hafar, another to have been denied. Shilcock, the playmaker. Off goes Fissalau. And a third try in as many A-team appearances for the young Exeter chief. England at long last put the game beyond any doubt.
They do, and it takes a moment of individual brilliance. Maybe that's what we needed from Greg Visselau to finally break the deadlock in this second half. Really strong by Hendy on this right wing, breaking tackles, getting England on the front foot. Visselau, he's done this a few times in this game. You can see the Irish defence folding, thinking about getting off the line. Visselau spots the gap. Lovely swerve off the right foot as well. He's had really good impact since he's came on, and probably deserves that try as well for the work he's put in.
Chilcott for another couple of points. Successfully splits the poles. And Ireland's defensive stand finally falls. They have been bombarded by England, and she made mention there, Topsy, that the amount of disruption and reorganisation and players out of position due to the injuries sustained in a hugely confrontational contest
Offside in the 10-metre.
has made it an uphill battle all match.
Offside in 10.
But they have eyes on a consolation try here. And Doak has drilled that into position A. What do you think about the match? Smith to the middle. Ireland rolling round the corner. Mauling and brawling and short. As close as Ireland have been since the Bolton score. It's still there for them. If one man deserves it, it's Hugh Gavin. The gargantuan Gavin deservedly claims a try. An Ireland break England's resolve late in the game.
That's a great response by Ireland.
Yeah, checking in the back one, Ben. I wasn't sure
Hugh
if it was
Gavin
backwards
has
or forwards.
certainly stood up today. He's carried hard, he's tackled hard. And at the moment where Ireland just needed a response to give them something to take away from this game, they get their rewards. It's a good score.
I'll give you time with the kickoff as well done. I'm good, mate, thanks.
Doak to make it a 7-pointer. England 21, Ireland 12.
Do you want a bit more time then, or are you okay?
Just give me one more angle. I think it's spilled backwards, as Joe said.
Yeah, just in the background. We think it's gone backwards. Just checking the last angle, mate. That's all.
It's 7 points on the board for the time being.
Yeah, but not clearly forward. Stick with the on-field
There's a
decision.
deep dive.
Between the on-field decision last time back on.
Which Ireland survived. So time back on, and the score stands.
Use it!
2.5 minutes for Ireland to do something remarkable and highly unlikely. But Topsy, time for your Champagne Bollinger player of the match.
Well, there have been some good individual performances out there for England. I think the flankers, Jack Hennigan, Tom Pearson, have been really industrious, particularly in that first half. I think England's centre combination of Ajomo and Will Butt have been very good too. But my Champagne Bollinger man of the match is actually going to go to Tom Lockett, number 5, who's just missed the tackle, but we'll let him off for that. I think he's been really industrious in that second row. He's worked hard. He's called the line out in tricky conditions. And actually, when you just need those little nuts and bolts to go well in a fixture like this, he's been at the heart of a lot of that good work. So our Champagne Bollinger player of the match is Tom Lockett.
He bends his frame over one more breakdown, and his steel may just set up a final flourish for England, who have 3 tries and they fancy a 4th.
Number 9.
Kenningham travels back into the fog of war. High velocity clear-outs arriving from England, whose hunger hasn't waned. Nice little dink over the top. A squabble to claim it. Carpenter's there, and he does so. Gray, no look, and he opens up his ribs to be rearranged by an Irish shoulder. A break ball, and he's up and on his feet, and he wants more. Hafar. Good carry. Ireland, more defence for them. Kenningham with the long ball that's slapped down. It might just work for England. The final pass looks forward. Hassel Collins has a double in theory.
This is coming up to you. So
pending TMO intervention.
Because the final pass is forward. However, I have a deliberate knock-on advantage against 6 green. I need to check potential cover for prevention of a probable try, please.
Try or potential penalty try.
Forward, so I'll show you the deliberate knock-on now, Ben.
So on the field in yellow card penalty, we need to check whether it's cover and the chance of a probable try. Yeah, Dan, there's no cover there, mate, for me. He prevented a probable try being scored, so 6 goes to the bin and it's a penalty try.
Yeah, agreed.
Number 6 is a deliberate knock-on, preventing a probable try. It's a yellow card and a penalty try. Deliberate knock-on.
It'll be no double for Ollie Hassel-Collins, and it will be no long fizzed assisting pass for Jack Kenningham to tell his mates back home, but it will be a penalty try for England, and it will be a 4th. England move to 28. The scoreline burnished a little bit more on a very wet and very challenging afternoon in the West Country. Hassel-Collins competes in the air. The ball makes its way across the touchline, and that'll be the final act. Player of the match, Tom Lockett, has put in a titanic shift in quite atrocious conditions under the eye of Steve Borthwick, Richard Hill, and the rest of the senior England group. It's 4 tries for England. It is a big win against an impressive Ireland side who faced adversity all game with injuries and disruptions and recalibrations. But it is England with another A-class performance. Victorious here at Ashton Gate. Full time, England 8-28, Ireland 8-12.
Well, like you just touched on, a difficult day for Ireland. Disruptions, conditions, all sorts, but ultimately it's a win for England. It's a positive step for this A group as well, and absolutely you could see the value in bringing it back, revamping it, and adding it as a crucial path to this England pathway. You know, lots of players getting an opportunity to impress. You've got your capped internationals that are out there, your own capped internationals, some promoting from the 20s as well, looking with their eyes on it, and all looking to make that next step on their development. So it's been a really good hit out. Yes, some areas of the game were patchy, but we expected that. But ultimately, England have won really, really well. They've scored some points on the board. Lots of the game that the coach will be happy with. Not just the coaches they had for this fixture, Lee Blackett and his company, but also the head coaches as well. Put your best foot forward. Try and combine with players that you don't normally play with. Put in a decent performance. and then move on to the next fixture with all eyes for a lot of this group, hopefully on those summer tours.
Tom Lockett is our player of the match, Tops. But for you, for Ireland, for England, which players do you think from their performances today merit serious consideration for maybe Six Nations involvement or certainly the summer tours?
It's an interesting one, isn't it? I mean, obviously we flagged Jack Van Poortvliet pre-game as someone with the captaincy who has senior ambitions and might be one that gets brought into a training pod, especially considering they have a fallow week next week. For the others, it's difficult. You know, Locks is an interesting one, actually, because see, we saw Ollie Chesham pressed into action yesterday and Ted Hill as the backup, so that might be an area to look at. I think for the rest, eyes to the summer tour, which is what you'd want, actually. You know, there's some good competition in that senior England group, but these guys will be happy with their performance today.
Well, on that note, in rather timely fashion, we do have our Champagne Bollinger player of the match, Tom Lockett, down pitch side.
Thanks very much, Joe. Tom Lockett, congratulations. You're the Champagne Bollinger player of the match. I'm going to give you this first to start off with. We're wiping the lens here. We're down pitch side. The rain has slightly eased off. Just talk about the condition first and foremost and how difficult that was to play in.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it changes things a little bit, but we go back to the things that we rely on, our set piece, our breakdown, our carry, and I think we were really good at that for the whole 80 minutes today.
Just talk about the Pack's effort today, particularly in that second half. There was barely any scores going on. The rain was kind of sideways. Kind of how much of a forward effort was that?
These games are won in the tight five and in the eight as a whole. And we had a training session on Thursday that was exactly the same conditions, so we were prepared for these, and it's nice to come out of this on the right side.
How's it been this week in terms of getting a whole new group together, coming up a really tough Ireland side, and I guess the bonding off and on the pitch? How's that been?
We had a big focus at the start of this week on being as cohesive as we possibly could be, and I think that probably helped us in those moments where it was a bit tricky. But it's nice to play against lads week in, week out in the Premiership and then come together and we're all pushing in the same direction. So it's been a great week.
In terms of England's progression as well, it's obviously part of the pathway. You have some really good results recently against Portugal, against Australia, another one against a very tough Ireland side. This seems to be in a really good place this England system.
Yeah, and I think I speak on behalf of all the lads when I say that we love this A stuff. It's, as I say, it's such a good chance to connect with lads that you might not have played with before, and we probably give a little bit more because we know that it's the only time that this 23 is going to play together, and as I say, that when it gets tough, that's what you see.
I know you're part of the forward effort, but some of the tries you managed to score in the rain today, really impressive as well. That must be a nice feeling as a bunch of players.
It is nice. It's nice to see those lads scoring tries when they're on your team for once. Normally it's watching them run under your sticks, but yeah, it was a good game.
Tom, thank you very much for your time. Congratulations, player of the match. Thank you.
There's a lot to be said for the sentiments that Tom Lockett has expressed there. That it's not just about the scoreline, is it, Tops? It's about getting together with a group of individuals and trying to achieve something. And for England, they've successfully done so, and maybe the result hasn't gone the way of the Irish today, but they'll have made memories with men that they are usually going toe-to-toe with rather than being brothers in arms.
Yeah, that's a really big part of this week, and I guess it's what you don't see. I mean, the icing on the cake is what we've just seen over the last 80 minutes, the win, the victory, the performance and all of that, but actually for the whole group it's, look, we're only together a short time. Yes, we know that this A programme is going to build out and there's going to be more fixtures hopefully, but actually let's embrace the week, the opportunity to come together with guys we've either played with at junior levels or not played with at all, to spend a bit of different time together in England colours and then go out and perform and see what we can do. You know, it's quite a raw way of doing it in terms of a mini tour. Like, guys, you know, we're getting together for a week, we're going to bond, we're going to learn about each other, spend some time with different people and ultimately see what we can put together at the weekend. So I think it's been a thoroughly enjoyable week. The smiles on their face seems like they've enjoyed themselves, but like I say, they've got the performance and the win as well.
I can get the sense that you enjoyed the Churchill Cup back in your day, Topsy, from all those fine words. Let's hear from England's captain, Jack Van Poortvliet.
Jack, a really difficult game. We're studying pitch side with the rain and the wind driving. How difficult was that to play in?
Yeah, it was tough. It was really tough. I think you saw it was quite a stop-start game, and
Yeah, with the wet ball and the wind swirling like it was just incredibly gusty and things. So it made things hard, but fair play to the boys. We tried to adapt. Probably got a bit frustrated that we couldn't get over the line more than we did, but it made it hard with the weather and then the limited time we had together and prep. So no, I'm really proud of the effort of the boys. We've had a really good week. It's a great bunch of lads. It was testing stuff, but I'm proud of the way the boys pulled through.
Tom Lockett just mentioned there you had a similar training session on Thursday as well that was to condition. It's almost prepped you for today.
Yeah, it did a little bit. It was slightly less protected on Friday, I think it was. So yeah, look, it's been a testing week in terms of conditions, but we tried to make the most of it, and we've had a good time and pushed each other hard to try and get the most out of the game, and I think we did that.
Second half was probably more a for a game, probably more stop-start, but you did manage to score a couple of nice tries in that first half. Was that about today, maybe throwing the ball around a bit and being expansive?
Yeah, I think we said before the game, no matter the conditions, we still want to have a go if it was on, and we pushed it. I mean, the wind was even affecting some passes and stuff, so made it difficult, but there's such an exciting group of players here coming through, and a lot of young boys there that really wanted to show what they can do and things, and I think there was a lot of that where boys showed their talent and things, and we managed to still put our skills out there considering the conditions, but yeah, we wanted to give it a go no matter what and still be brave with it and push it, so I think we did that. It's just a shame we couldn't get over the line a bit more.
One person did get over the line, yourself. How nice to kind of score. There's been a lot of kind of in and outs of England squads for yourself, but you look like you really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, I think I'll be honest, I just really enjoyed the week. I think it's been a bit frustrating for me, a few injuries and bits and quite stop-start in and out of the squad. So yeah, I just wanted to come into this week and enjoy it with a bunch of lads, a lot I've played with before at 20s and things. So it's great to see them again. I just wanted to go out and have a bit of fun, and I did that today. You look like you've really enjoyed, I guess, the week in total then. It's kind of a bit of a Barbarians feel, a group of new players comes together, 2 or 3 training sessions, and you go out there. Yeah, I'd probably say slightly more serious than the Barbars, but no, it's been really fun, and you've only got a week together, so we came together on Monday, so we wanted to on Tuesday, sorry. So we just wanted to get to know each other as well as we could, those that didn't know each other, and make the most of the week. We had limited time on field, but wanted to make the most of it off field, and no, we did that, and it was a lot of fun. Great bunch of lads, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. Well, there you go, enjoy it with the group of mates. Jack, thank you very much. We're going to bring straight in head coach Lee Blackett. In you come, Lee. Come join us. Thank you very much for your time. A big smile on your face as well. That was really testing conditions, but your side have come away with a good win. Performed really well in those conditions. What did you make of the game?
As everyone, a coach, you're always looking at missed opportunities, but I thought actually, considering the conditions, I actually thought we played some really good stuff. We just probably didn't convert well enough close to the line. I think the scoreline in the end probably reflected the game. I thought we were probably just on top. They obviously had some injuries as well, didn't they? That probably hurt them a little bit as well in terms of continuity. And so, but I thought for individuals to come, put the name up to Steve, show themselves. I thought there were some really good individual performances out there as well as a team.
A couple of the tries, particularly the first half ones, was your team trying to throw the ball around, look to be expansive in these conditions. Was that something you looked to work on this week?
I think it's one of those you'd be adaptable. Yeah, we work on it. We train in great conditions all week, and then you come today, and for the players, it's about figuring out how much you can play in these conditions. There's been many a game I've coached in where you've gone into your shell early on thinking you can't play, and then you're behind on the scoreboard, and then you start playing and realise you can play. So I'd much we spoke earlier about not being complete opposite of that. Go and play, and then we'll see. We'll figure out within the warm-up, and we'll figure out in the first 10-15 minutes how much we can play. And I thought we played some really good rugby early on, and definitely first half, I think there was a bit of a disappointment feeling going in at half-time. We had to try and keep the energy high because actually we missed some chances, and probably the same again in the second half. But look, it did what it was set out to do, and that was to give individuals opportunities to show themselves in front of Steve and all the other first team staff. And I thought some guys did put some great performances in there.
How pleased are you just in terms of how the squad blended together? Because there was a lot of cohesion out there, really digging in the second half, and it looked like rather than a team that's sort of been put together in a week, that I know there'll be pathways and Premiership ties in, but they look like they really know each other.
Yeah, that was the challenge. That's the challenge we set out at the start of the week. Our number one thing was how can we build team cohesion, and it was almost a bit of a challenge. People say you can't, so let's go and prove them wrong, and that was a pleasing thing as a coach, and I saw through the week how the senior guys as well within that group took control, led by Jack and the guys in behind him. So look, in terms of that, you're always concerned when you're putting a team together. They look like there's no cohesion out there, but I thought far from. I just actually thought our execution at times was the only thing that maybe let us down.
In terms of a weekend for English rugby, 20s Friday night, obviously the senior men yesterday. Nice to round it off this Sunday.
Yeah, it is. It was nail biter yesterday, wasn't it? And the 20s had a great victory on Friday night, so everyone in camp watched both games. There was a lot of cheering in camp yesterday when England finally got over the line. Unfortunately for me, for Bath, it was mixed. It was mixed emotions. Obviously, you never want to see that happen to a player. Someone miss a kick at the end. So I felt for Finn. I thought he was outstanding through the game. But then on the flip side, your English side cheering the win on. So yeah, mixed emotions probably watching that at the end.
Lee, we'll let you go. Thank you very much for your time. Well played today. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
9,500, in case you were wondering. I think it's safe to say that the England A and, well, both nations A programmes have captured the imagination of the rugby public. And, well, they made us wait for a long time in the second half, but we did get 6 tries today, Topsy. And as Lee was saying, there was an opportunity to see that cohesion, maybe some of the execution when right at the end when it came to scoring was absent, but there were still some fine moments, wasn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. And look, yes, weather-wise, it was a difficult day, but I think, the word that we've used through it is brave, and ultimately it was when the opportunities did present themselves, which team was brave enough and good enough to go and take them. And, it went back and forth in that first half. Of course, England got the first one. Ireland responded in kind, but that was probably the moment whereby England just started to ascend, started to get on the front foot with the carries, with the breaks, started to move the ball. Yes, there were a few spilled balls, but the fact that they were trying to play that way would have pleased the coaches. I mean, that's a lovely individual score for Jack there. Another one coming up here for Greg Pisilau, who made huge impact from the bench as well. And again, in the cold light of day, when they look back on this game, you'll look at individual performances, the guys that started, who put themselves forward, and then the guys that came off the bench as well and made that secondary impact. This was good from Ireland to respond, but then again, England, fine, we've conceded a try. Can we go back at Ireland and have the final word? Ball gets knocked forward, get picked up, forward pass. Hassel Collins might have been his only second touch in that second half. Tells you the story of that game, but England come away with a score. So look, all in all, a 6-try game, a 4-try win for England. They'll be very, very happy with what they put out today, as will Lee and his team, and as will Steve, hopefully, and the rest of the senior coaches as well.
And for Ireland, a bit of food for thought. I thought Hugh Gavin was outstanding, wasn't he? I think he carried a lot of ball that looked uncomfortable to carry, defended well, and deservedly got a try as well there.
Yeah, he did. Gavin was good, Doak was good as well in testing conditions, and we touched on them. Look, difficult to put their best foot forward based on the disruption. I mean, from 5 minutes in, they were making substitutions already, and Harry Byrne comes on, goes straight off. Kieran Frawley, who would have been the guy, the glue, the senior figure to keep them all together, he goes off with a HIA as well. So difficult, but look, I don't think the coaches will look too much at this performance and start, putting X's against players' names. I think they will be comfortable that they have quality coming through. A lot of these guys will go on those summer tours, so go back to your provinces, continue to build. Some of these guys might still feature in the Six Nations. We don't know. A lot can happen in the next couple of weeks. So look, lick your wounds today, but understand that it's just one small bump in a long journey ahead.
And you mentioned those summer tours. It's a tantalising prospect for these players. Argentina for England, Georgia and Romania for Ireland. I think I know what side of the equation I would like to be in terms of what terminal I'm getting to at the airport. But, those challenges, I think, again, we're talking about those bonds, that it's going to be an unfamiliar feel probably to the national setup due to the personnel with the Lions. And that in itself is going to be a growth moment for the programme, for the players.
It will, but it's a huge opportunity. And, even just listening to the players talking there, they've enjoyed the week as a whole. You come together in camp, you're playing for England, it's an A international, you get to see new faces, you get to see old faces that you've grown up with, and ultimately you get to go to do the thing that you love at the end of the week, which is go and play in your country's colours. So look, those summer tours are huge opportunities, and look, I cast my mind back to, was it Argentina? Actually, the last Argentina tour where Tom Curry made his name, and the rest is history now. He's a British and Irish Lion, he's a 50-cap international, so that in itself tells the story of these tours when the Lions are on and maybe where the senior internationals have a rest, are the breeding ground for that next group of future internationals. So go and attack it with everything you got.
But for the time being, we can say that we've enjoyed ourselves here at Ashton Gate
Absolutely,
today.
it's been great.
You come again, will you, Tops?
Oh yeah, let's do it. We're going to Argentina, aren't we?
Sign me up, muchacho. So, look, from all of us here at Ashton Gate, it's been another fine demonstration of what these A-team regimes can do. 6 tries proffered up by both England and Ireland, but England continue their undefeated run since the programme's been rebooted. Goodbye from all of us at Ashton Gate.